Good morning, everyone. This is Bremster, and of course, this morning I'm going to continue with my playthrough of my Picard save. Now, I'd actually created my Picard save as the save that I would use to launch into expeditions, and a new expedition has just started. The Aquarius expedition is back. Now, the timing on this one is actually quite interesting because it's going to run for 2 weeks. And in less than 2 weeks, I'll be going away. So and it's also the first expedition I ever did, and I'm not actually sure I want to do the Aquarius expedition again. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I don't know if I want to do it because I'm really enjoying just kicking off this new save. I mean, as you can see, I'm wearing all of the Aquarius armor right now. The armor I'm wearing is is part of the reward you get for doing the Aquarius expedition. I don't know. I'm definitely feeling a little torn by how to manage this one. I think this one's empty. It is. It may be empty. Don't get me wrong. I do not regret building. I've lost track of my direction. It's over here.
Radiation protection falling.
Oh, I've literally processed everything. But if you look at my nanites, I'm back up at 11,000 already. My nanite farm is working fine. What I do need is copper, because I still need to build the aeration membrane. Is there copper around? Cadmium. Actually, if I've got cadmium here, odds are I'm not going to get... Yeah, I'm not here. So let's warp back to... Actually, edit placed parts. How do I move electrical wiring? Edit placed part. No. Edit placed parts. I want proximity switch.
Radiation protection falling.
Which I want to put there. Then I put electrical wiring in place from there to there, and from there to there. What does that do? Well, see, the teleporter is live, but now if I run away, the teleporter turns off because it doesn't need to draw power unless someone is near it. Okay. Let's go back. Ooh, Quenga Iskin was the previous system. So there is a planet here that I haven't done. That's right, I haven't been to the ringed planet in this system. I don't need to do every planet in every system. I'm fully aware of this. In fact, it's better not to. Well, it's not better not to, but... So 1, 2, 3. There are obviously 6 planets in this system at least. 1, 2, 3. No, there's 5. Ah, one of those is the Anomaly. So we go into first person mode. I don't know why I'm getting those weird squares. So there's the anomaly. It looks like there's a planet hiding behind. So there's a planet up here. But it looks like there's another planet hiding behind that one down there. So let's pulse in this direction. There it is. Noxious planet with high sentinel activity. Well, let's just claim it. Naporth Sigma. I probably won't stay on the planet long. Who knows? This is me. Pilot indicates they wish to trade. Let's see what you got. No, I'm good. Object of interest, exit pulse. I exited pulse, but the object of interest was already gone. Because it exited pulse for me. So the randomness... That looks like a good place to land, doesn't it? Welcome to the Naporth Sigma system. I'm happy because I'm happy. Because I found the Naporth Sigma system in Euclid Galaxy. Because I'm happy. Because the first time this has been found is by a player that's me. Because I'm happy. And there's more... Oh no, it's sac venom. I was thinking it's not another curious deposit, is it? Melt the ice.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
That was the wrong thing to do.
Units received. Units received. Units received.
Pretty bad storm. Doesn't look too bad, but it's pretty bad.
Units received.
Hello, Mr. Sentinel.
Units received. Units received. Toxin protection falling.
Now, didn't I see a cave over there?
Toxin protection falling. Units received. Units received.
Ionized cobalt, but I don't have any cobalt. I wish I could pin things to a particular slot. Oops.
Units received. Units received.
And now it's opening at the top rather than the bottom, whereas before it was opening at the bottom rather than the top. I don't understand.
Toxin protection falling.
I don't know.
Product received.
Problem is, I don't have room in my starship to try these out. Maneuverability 6 and fuel efficiency 18. So if I store this... No. What was the other one? Hyperdrive module. So I've actually got good hyperdrive. So that was probably not a good thing to buy. I need to upgrade my ship is what I need to do.
Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received.
Drop pod. We're crashing. Hello, butterfly.
Technology prepared. Weather warning. Incoming storm. Toxic protection falling.
Subtle little storm, this one. Nothing catching my attention. I'm going to space. I'm in space. Well, I kind of deliberately bumped into that horde of sentinels, but it was a good horde of sentinels. Into the space. So, conflict level 3. Low economy. Conflict level 1, better economy. Gek, let's go there. Let's go to... Is that Gispland? There's a place here called Gippsland, and this was Gispland. Is it a first contact situation? Yes. I'm the first person to go to Gispland. Fel got an awesome freighter. Hey, Pieb. Pieb. Mystery me. Well, I can't say no to this. He taught me the word for this. I definitely can't say no to... Sorry, unexpected Hamilton. Mission. Mystery me. I got no and yes. Dialogue help me. Yeah, mystery me. All. He seems upset. I'm going to give him a gift. I'm going to steal the stuff from their plants. Is that a no, it's just a Gek. It's a Twader. Then give me a trade symbol, trader. What's on offer? Sales Gek. Direct help. I would like some direct help. Mystery. Work. 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 Angelica. Eliza. The Convergent smiles. Technology symbol. Upgrade. That was a fun Sentinel run. C-Class for 4.15. A-Class for 33.5. That seems expensive. A-Class for 102. No. I don't think so. So there's a bunch of 4 planets in this system. And wasn't this a dissonant system? I don't remember. let's go check out the mission board. And do I still have... I do. I still have an exosuit upgrade chart. Are they going to be the same? No. I could get a multi-tool expansion slot. I can't get a multi-tool expansion slot, but... collect 50... Oh, Frost Crystal. If that was Storm Crystal, it'd be like, what? B class for 7 million. It's pretty though, isn't it? Starbulb, copper, paraffinium, and silver. Starbulb, copper, paraffinium, and salt. Magnetized ferrite, high sentinel activity. Dissonance. Let's go to the dissonance system and maybe do some ship farming. Emu miner. Assuming I can ever land. The only way is down. Harmonic scrap. And a radiant shard, so... I swear I make most of my money by scanning stuff. This is a bad storm.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Units received.
One thing I did notice is there didn't seem to be a lot of
Units received. Weather update. Storm clearing.
There's the Radiant Shard. There's another one. That one's closer. Oh, hey, Doomjot. Sorry, I missed you coming in. It has been a while. I see you've been playing a lot of PoE too. How have you been finding it? I made the mistake of starting with a warrior, and that did not go well. I bounced off it hard because of that. It did draw me back to Last Epoch, though. Oh, it wasn't Radiant Shards I was looking for, although I need some. Oops, that was a mistake.
Units received.
That's what I'm looking for. What class are you playing? Monk.
Units received.
Yeah, I started playing a sorcerer in Last Epoch and was having a lot of fun with it. But Felinae was saying that she wanted to start No Man's Sky, and it was like, I've been thinking about starting another playthrough as one that I could kick off expeditions from. And I have to say, this has been exceptionally fun. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy monoliths in LE. The biggest problem I have, and I keep raising this, is having, what was it, 11 defensive stats that you have to balance, I think is a problem. Because it's like you get an upgrade, but the piece you're upgrading is the only thing providing you with 2 of the defensive stats you need. So all of a sudden, you don't have all of the defensive stats you need. Hey, Eric. And then you can't put the item on, and if you put the item on, then you've got to balance those stats from somewhere else, which means you're swapping out something else, which means you've lost the defensive stats on those items, and then you've got to do it for another one. And you get one upgrade, and you can't equip it without getting a whole new set of gear, and it's like, you know what, this is just impossible. It's just not worth the effort. So you get a really good piece of gear just to find out you can't actually equip it, and it's like, it just causes you to bounce off it. Well, there's the echolocator I needed. Wow, these sentinels are rough.
Ground protection falling.
Another one over there. Because I've got my echolocator. I don't have my inverted mirror, which feels backwards. I love that there's so many different games that people can enjoy. I'm really loving this. This is so good. It's got me to 7 of those, which would be enough. I'm going to need a bit more Atlantidium. This planet feels a bit more balanced with this stuff, because normally it's just Atlantidium and stuff everywhere. Whereas this stuff, it feels like it's growing in batches. It feels a little bit more...
Units received.
I'd like to return to PoE2 at some point. I'm still curious. It was just at the beginning. It was just obvious. It's like, they've got this broken. This is not right. There's my inverted mirror. How far away is my ship? 800. I'm tempted to call it in, but I'm still going to see if I can... Oops. Where did you guys come from? Corrupt swarm are baiting my foot. The fact that they automatically find you. They're corrupted, so they're purple, yes. You know what? I think I'm just going to call my ship in. And check elsewhere. Actually, no, I've got the materials. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to resonate.
Navigational data received.
I'm not sure that GGG... I think GGG make a really interesting token of listening to the player base. Are you interested in my opinion on this one, Doomja? Because there's a couple of things I think are problematic from the perspective... I mean, you know how I think. The first one is... Why did I pulse? That was really dumb. Think about it from the perspective of the auction house system. So they've got the auction, the ability to trade in the game, which is almost required. They obviously love it that people turn around and say, oh, I've played PoE for 2,000, 3,000. I've seen people say as much as 6,000 hours. But the trading system is you put your item up, it's listed on a website, people find it on the website, you click a button, clicking the button sends a whisper to the player from your logged in account, and then if the person is logged in, they can join your group and then initiate a trade with you. Which means in order to trade, both players need to be logged in and not running content. So trading that way, which I would say went out the window 20 years ago, rather than just posting it for trade, someone saying, I want to buy this at this price, and then the computer automatically doing the trade for you. Trading that way, I would say, is 20 years old. It is completely and utterly outdated and has not needed to exist forever. It is also open for scamming, with people getting bots to do last minute replacements of items a fraction of a second before you hit the accept button and all sorts of stuff like that. We've seen this so many times. It is also the way that almost every duping system in every game has been exploited, with bots doing last second like jump ins and all sorts of stuff on manual trades. So trading like that has always caused problems for games. Why would you keep it in your system? Because it causes players to be online waiting for trade whispers rather than engaging with other games. There is no reason at all, I can't even remember how these work, there is no reason at all for your game to have that in it, apart from the fact that they want people to be able to say, I've played PoE for 3,000 hours. I honestly think some of those people have played PoE for like 250 hours, and they've spent 2,500 hours with their gaming laptop logged in while they've been working, or something like that. So they just want to fake the numbers at the expense of their players. Scan memory registers. 6 minus 2 is 4. 2 plus, so it's 4, 10, 16. Four, 10, 16. New customization option unlocked. The Aeron Turbojet. Cool. So the first thing I can do is I can take the multi-tool for free and then switch back to my Staff of Power. The next thing I can do is locate a dissonant spike. So my statement is, if they gave a jot about their players, they wouldn't be abusing their players for thousands of hours of playtime in order to make their numbers look good. The other thing is it's not insidious practices to keep players in games. This is one that a lot of people do not like to hear. So things like your incredibly punishing systems, so your on-death mechanics, the big one is the if you die, Why is that not tagging? I don't want to land. I want to tag. It is tagged. Okay. If you die, then you kill the boss, you die, the loot disappears. So you can't get loot for something. You get one shot, and apparently it's to the point where in some systems, remember the bosses early in the campaign have unique drops where they give your character a permanent buff. There have been people who literally would kill the boss would drop the unique buff item, they would die to an after death effect. The after death effect would kill their, as I said, would kill their character. They would go back, kill the boss again, and the item wouldn't drop because it had already dropped from them, effectively making it that their character could never get that permanent buff, which the game is balanced around them having. Right? Great. So, but that level of sure. C-class worth 23 million units. Sure, it's sort of borrowed from Souls-like games, kind of, but Souls-like games give you the ability to sort of repeat easier. So from what I've heard from most Souls-like games, you get up to the boss and then you repeat the boss until you get it. You don't lose everything. Now, the interesting thing about the on-death mechanic and losing everything to it and all of that sort of stuff, and it's slightly more... I've got a repair kit. It's slightly more weird than a lot of people think, is with a lot of this stuff, you get the perspective, and I don't feel like I hate talking about something this negative in a game that doesn't deserve it, because this game is amazing. You get this weird perspective with that of often the game will then punish you for it more than taking the loot away. Last Epoch does this as well, which is you lose the map key which you worked for, you saw an item drop which is absolutely phenomenal, which you now will never get. So you earn the item, something then weird happens and you don't get the item. Where was it? It's there. You don't get the item. So everything goes wrong for you in many different ways. So it's effectively a multi-level punishment. And what it's doing is it's making you feel really, really bad. And it's actually a known form of... it's a known form of emotional abuse that's actually used by domestic abusers. And the whole concept is you keep someone feeling incredibly down as much as possible. So when the abuse stops, they feel like it's an uplifting moment. And it causes people to feel more positive in a situation that is overall incredibly negative. And it's what people do when they can't provide people any sort of positive. What is up with my air conditioner? Air conditioner put itself back in heating mode in the middle of summer. Okay, so it actually I want to present the brain. It actually keeps people in this sort of negative mode, and then when you stop hitting, it's effectively known as like when you stop hitting, doesn't it feel good when people stop hitting you, sort of thing. And it's the reason it's connected to, it's not exactly the same, but it's connected to the emotional response of why do abuse victims defend their abusers? And it's the same reason. Why do people who play these games that actually are doing emotional abuse to them, and it's actually, this is the actual part of games that's known to be harmful by a lot of people, which is the games will abuse their players, keeping their emotional level down, and that negativity, emotional states will actually carry outside the game because the designers don't know how to give them positives. And if they didn't make the players feel punished for slight failures, like make them play the game for half an hour, and if they slip up for only a few seconds in that half an hour, then take everything away from them. If we don't do that, then we actually have to provide them with with positive experiences, and we don't know how to give them positive experiences. So what we need to do is give them negative experiences. And it's like, that's kind of bad. Because people go away, if they don't get the absence of negative experience, feeling really terrible. And that negativity just carries on, and it's... Okay, salvage 1. Now I go back to my ship. So yeah, it's the fact that they're using the same techniques that are used by domestic abusers to keep their abused partners in domestic abuse situations in order to keep their player base playing is really uncomfortable to me. Hey MJ. Yeah, so we've got people at the university I work with who I worked on a gamification project about 5 or 6 years ago, and when we were starting the gamification project, there was a lot of discussion about traps we had to avoid. And it was all about how do we gamify the things that our staff, and I work at a university, what the staff and our students do in order to drive engagement, in order to make them want to come back and re-engage with the systems that we're putting in place, rather than just, well, if you don't do this, you won't get good grades. How do we make it more fun for them to integrate with our systems? Yeah, I've done this on my main save, so I know how to do it. I'm basically just grinding money in parts at the moment. I found a dissonant system. I thought I'd go to it and do this for a little bit. I start work in an hour and a bit, so I thought I would, yeah. And I'm talking about PoE with a good friend who has played it a bit. Got another echolocator. Cool. So yeah, I'd heard about these pit traps before, and ever since then I've noticed it in systems. Now, a little bit of it I'm cool with, because you kind of need it. You need to... I mean, the whole point of gamification is to manipulate your player base to come back. And that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. It absolutely should happen. Because you want your game to engage your players. But there is a difference. Hang on, is that the one I just came from? Surely the one I just came from. I'm going to move on. I'm going to fly away into the wild blue yonder. Yeah, I love hunting Sentinel ships. I think it's fun. Ooh, building. Not much of a building. I mean, there's a trade terminal here. There's probably something in my bags I want to sell, right? Right?
Thermal protection falling.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Now, I'm really interested to see how they respond as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving up on the game. I want to give it a couple of months, see how they respond, and then potentially return to it. It's also going to be interesting to see how LE respond. I think LE is great right up until my current character got past the 89 block that I had last time, where it's like, I get to 89, I get to the start of Echoes, and it's like, I'm done. This one doesn't seem to have that same... quite the same block. I got to 93, and then I started playing No Man's Sky, and it's not as if I'm done with LE. I'm just playing No Man's Sky because No Man's Sky is so much fun. Okay, am I seeing? Well, there's another. No, that's just this one. I am not. So let's get back in my ship. And you know me, I'm not one to yuck on someone's yum. I'm just one to say, these are concerns I have, and I wish those concerns would be I'm curious whether, I mean, those concerns are not even being acknowledged, which most of the player base don't acknowledge them because they're the ones in the abused situation. And as I said, many people in domestic abuse, many of the abused in a domestic abuse situation refuse to acknowledge that they're the ones being abused. Yeah. So if you're curious in seeing something absolutely amazing, Fel, my wife, started playing No Man's Sky for the first time about a week ago. And she's been streaming her journey as well, which a bunch of my followers have been watching. And she's been fumbling about, completely lost, no idea what she's doing. And it's been incredibly exceptional to watch. Some people have been trying to help her. I think some people have been trying to help her too much. I've crossed that line a little and I'm trying to back down. I know the sort of thing that really irritates her. So I've been trying to help her avoid some of those pit traps. But even then it's like, you know what? I need to back down from some of that and let her find it on her own. Some people are literally telling her, do this, do this, do this, do this, and you'll be able to, and you'll complete the game. It's like, this is not a game I want to complete. People have done that to me in here as well. People have said, oh, if you just do this, you'll be able to get all of this stuff. It's like, I don't want to. I want to do this game organically. If it takes me 10 years to get something that other people can unlock on day 3, okay. Because I don't see this as a game to rush to the end. Like, this is not a game to play for perfect efficiency. This is a game to go, what's in front of me right now? I saw a dissonance system and it was like, you know what? I'd actually logged on to that this morning with a plan and I am not executing that plan. Squirrel syndrome. Yeah, this is that game. Unlike every other game, I think, in my system, which is, this is the stuff that you need to do. This is the, just log on and do whatever. And I love it. I absolutely love it for that. Yeah, my end and your end may be completely different. And that's also great. That did blow up. That got me an inverted mirror, which is what I needed. I got detected. I got detected again. Oops. How far away from my ship did I end up? Not far. That seems to be a fair amount. Ooh, I don't have a hazmat gauntlet installed? How the heck did that happen?
Technology installed.
What does Frost Crystal stack to? Seems to have normal stacking limits. I mean, I've got so many games on my to-do list. I wanted to play, was it this room of, this bed we made? I want to play, like, I keep looking at Disco Elysium going, I want to play Disco Elysium. But I keep just thinking, you know what? There's No Man's Sky, there's Cyberpunk, there's just so many games. And, you know, there's Sudoku to record. Last night, it was like, I want to play No Man's Sky. It's like, no, you're going to sit down and you're going to record a bunch of puzzles. Sorry if we're boring you. I played Baldur's Gate 3 for a few sessions, and I really loved it because I've been playing D&D since the late 70s. I loved Baldur's Gate 3. The reason I ended up stopping playing Baldur's Gate is I found it exhausting, and I can't tell you why. There was something about Baldur's Gate 3 that I'd play for an hour and I'd come out of it and I'd just feel, I don't know what it was, but I'd feel so tired and so worn out. I don't know if it was just me at the time, because I admit I did try it at a time when I was completely wrecked. Like, it was not a good time in my life. I was not finding the game in any way relaxing. It was really good, but just draining. Now, where was my ship? That way. It's not like The Witcher, which I bounced off and was like, I don't like this, which I really wanted to thought I'd get into The Witcher because I loved Cyberpunk. Still do. Cyberpunk is probably my favorite game. I don't think it's got the long term, like, I play Cyberpunk, I stop, 10 months later I come back and I start another playthrough of Cyberpunk. Oops, I had everything I needed.
Incoming storm.
that might put a damper on things. Ooh. Random drop pod. I'll take a random drop pod anytime. Well, as I said, I'm incredibly experienced with D&D. I measure my D&D books in shelf feet, but should do shelf meters, but you know,
protection falling.
yeah, I love D&D, but I think because my connection with D&D is so heavily linked with my father, and I was playing it just after my father passed, there was just a problem there.
Navigational data received.
So yeah, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is another game in my I really should get back into this list. But it's like, how many of those can I have? And I think the answer is all of them, I think. Honestly, you're going to find this one weird. My gaming group changed from two pieces of things that I found very weird. The first one was my gaming group changed from playing in person to playing online during the pandemic, because of course we did. After the pandemic ended, we kept playing online even though most of us lived within like 5 kilometers of each other, because playing online we were using Roll20, but playing online, we just we had complete control of our environment in a really nice way. So we were able to
Weather update. Storm clearing.
playing online, we were able to just easily log on, play when we wanted. It was just no stress. It was just someone could, turn up a couple of minutes late. We weren't waiting for people. It was just easier to engage with the systems. So playing online, and we actually would have people who would travel. It's like, oh, I've got to go to Brisbane because we're Australian based. I've got to go to Brisbane for a week for work. It didn't interrupt the sessions. We were able to keep playing. We actually found playing online was a really good way of doing it. The other thing I got into was solo role playing. And you may think that's absolutely nuts, but I'm not talking about playing Baldur's Gate 3 or anything like that. I'm talking about playing the actual physical role-playing games alone using an Oracle system. I ended up using the Mythic GME, and it's really good. Scan the memory registers. I need these numbers. 6, 12, 2. 6, 12, 2. You don't need a reason for that. I am surrounded by so many different sets of dice, and I don't use most of them. Sentinel rifle, B class. Staff of power, please. Dissonant spike me, please. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So we ended up still playing online. I did some of recording of my solo role-playing stuff. It was actually what caused me to start this channel. I actually thought originally this channel was going to be a... I'll find another one. I originally thought this channel was going to be just about me doing solo role-playing. And then for various reasons, I ended up streaming my video gaming, and it's become that instead. Well, as well, I'm hoping. I do want to get back to the solo role-playing. It was kind of all messed up when my father passed away. But my father passing away is kind of... Well, my father is the reason this channel exists. Hey, Double Tap. But yeah, solo role-playing using an Oracle system, and I strongly recommend the Mythic GME 2nd edition. Mwah. And you can do it with any role-playing system. So cool having people come back. So yeah, Doomjo, please understand, I'm not being negative about PoE 2. I bought PoE 2. I'm really looking forward to returning to it. I loved the WASD system. I think one of the reasons I bounced off it so hard is I originally rolled Warrior, which all of the memes are saying is like, Warrior is broken. And it's like, yes it is. And it's like, I'll wait until it's fixed. But there are a couple of things about it I just didn't like. A lot of people say, oh, I didn't like the fact that, you know, in order to get stash tabs and stuff, you have to pay for the game. You have to pay for them on top of the fact that you have to pay for the game. The game's going to be free to play when it's released. It's all fine. I'm cool with all of that. I think their monetization system is really well done. I think there's a lot of things they did really well. I think their trading system is broken, and I think their progression system is broken. But I'm hoping that between all of the games, they can get it right. I still think Diablo 4 is really, really good. I know people go, oh, D4 bad. I think it's really good. It has issues. Name me a game that doesn't. I think there are things in this that could be fixed. Like, quite a few, in fact. I repeat, when you are... I think you should be able to pin items to a particular slot in any of your inventories, so that even when you get down to 0 of that item, it just shows that item in the inventory with 0 available. So, for example, and I'm really annoyed that in my inventory, sometimes it opens at the bottom and sometimes it opens at the top. I'm really annoyed by that. So I changed all my stuff to the top rather than the bottom because it was always opening at the bottom. And now that I've moved all my stuff to the top, it's opening at the top. It's like, what's with that? I should possibly keep my inventory in this mode because I really don't care about this that much.
Technology recharge.
So I should keep my inventory in this mode. That's what I should do. But this is probably a better display for my inventory. But I think if I could turn around and say, I'm going to pin like my ferrite dust to this slot. And even if I run out of ferrite dust, it stays here grayed out with a 0 on it, showing me you don't have any. It won't put anything else in there. And when I get the ferrite dust, it goes back there. And being able to do that on any slot. Hang on. Why is my starship showing? Oh, you have to toggle it. And if I do that and go to my starship shows nothing. That's not good, is it? So if you go to that and then switch to your starship, you don't see, this is the sort of stuff that needs to just work. Like, where's my stuff? And to see my stuff in my ship, you have to go back to your exosuit, change this back to default, and then go to your starship. That's the sort of stuff that should not happen. Yeah, that's kind of, and even being able to just make these icons smaller so that, yeah, that's the sort of stuff that not great. That would be a really nice fix. When you're
Technology prepared.
compare, claim ship, go to the ship, rename this as Salvage 2. I'm not going to keep it. Switch my ship back to this. Being able to go to your discoveries page and have the space station listed here so you could pin it. So when you fly into space, you've already pinned the space station for warping straight to it. Similarly, if you go into a planet that you've been to that's got the portal on it, being able to say pin the portal and fly straight to it, or pin the locations on it. Or, and this is the big one, if they just did this, this is an unknown planet, being able to pin the planet so that it showed on my HUD. Why is it I can't find a planet on my HUD? It's absolutely crazy to me that my HUD is something that my HUD can't find planets. My spaceship cannot find planets. Can't put a planet on its HUD, is like on the bar at the top. Absolutely crazy. Now, apparently there's a freighter nearby somewhere. Ooh, that's pretty. I like the look of that freighter. Let's see if it's good and or cheap enough. I have a lot of credits. I'll give up on a free freighter if this one is good. This is what I expected to be doing this session, buying a freighter or finding a freighter. Or possibly learning how to walk. It is a C-class freighter worth $6.5 million. The answer to this question is no. You built a really pretty freighter and didn't get gear it up enough. You, sir, are a hoon. So, yeah, the ability to say, I want to find this planet and just have it appear on the HUD as an icon so I could beam in on it would be great. Similarly, having it that in third person, if I get a planet in front of me, don't even like that. The planet doesn't exist. My ship has not identified that that planet exists. You need to go into first person for it to appear. Kinda broken. I don't even know how Sentinel freighters work, to be honest, MJ. It's not something I've figured out, like how you trigger Sentinel freighters or any of that sort of stuff. I think it's you get into a Sentinel battle and you get to the end. I'm fine with it. I'm cool. As I said, this is a game where I'm very, very comfortable not figuring everything out at once. I kind of want this to be a game I play for a very long time. Now, at the moment, I'm kind of hardcoring it for about a week, and I probably will slow down and go back to a session every couple of weeks as I play other things, prepare to be away for a week, over a week for my Sudoku channel. All of that sort of stuff will sort of interfere with my streaming schedule. Not that I have a streaming schedule. It's like whenever I'm in the mood to play, I log in and stream. Because the reason I stream is very different to most people. The reason I stream is because of my dad, who used to be, oh, yeah, used to be, isn't now, he passed away. Used to be, he loved his gaming, both role-playing games and computer games. It was a huge part of his life. And when he got, basically he started getting, it wasn't Parkinson's, but it presented like Parkinson's. He got to the point where his hands wouldn't let him play anymore, his eyesight wouldn't let him play anymore. He could still see, but his eyes were a bit slow. And he really missed his gaming. And of course, he just slowed down, you know, he couldn't concentrate as much, and games expect your concentration to be perfect. Another problem I have with a lot of games is they just don't cater to old people. And that's because of many conversations I had where my dad was so depressed that he had to stop gaming. And at the end of his life, he was very much a case of, I wish I had a way of re-engaging with my games now that I can't play them anymore. Like, just revisit them. And that's kind of why I'm streaming, because if I stream my games and then, you know, keep an archive of them, YouTube is keeping that archive for me at the moment, but I've got the option when I get old or whatever of revisiting these sessions. I can come back and I can watch these playthroughs, and I've got those memories preserved. And I think that that's going to matter. I think in 15 or 10, 15 years time or whatever, that's really going to matter. Which is why I've recommended to people like Butterfly, and I recommend to everyone, even if you don't want to stream publicly. I've got a public YouTube channel with my puzzles channel, so I became a little bit more comfortable with the concept of is that the only one here? Wow. I became a little bit more comfortable with the concept of oh no, there's one there. Of streaming publicly. But even if you don't stream publicly, use YouTube and stream as a private stream, because you can do that. You can stream to YouTube and just tell it to not make the video public. And you get all of the features of streaming. You don't have to put your camera on. You can talk to yourself. You can say, oh, this is fun. And, you know, I used to talk to myself while I was gaming, while I was doing it, and I'd swear and scream. You can do all of that and just stream to YouTube using a good OBS setup and just never release those videos publicly. Just have it as your backup. Okay, that's not, because the bird was mythical. And that way, if you want them in future, they're there. Now, I mean, I enjoy the community. People have found, people come here after the, because I have the puzzle channel and everything, and people seem to like what I do. So I do this. Often I'll stream to 0 people. That's fine. I've done many streams to 0 people. I still do what I do. I will still talk about what I'm playing, and I'll still do my rants and all of that, even though no one's watching, because yeah, I often rant more when no one is watching, because it yeah, and often people do. Like Keith does remarkably often. Eric does. Quite a few people do. Chip does sometimes, I believe. Yeah, quite a few people. Yourself, Butterfly, will sit back and, you know, and watch the video on demand of my stream, and it's really cool. Yay! If people are getting pleasure out of it, that's great. So yeah, I would highly recommend, if you're doing a game like if you're doing a game like No Man's Sky, even if you don't want to stream it publicly, stream it privately. Use YouTube to catch your data. So you can come back, and that way, if you find a planet that you like or anything, you can go, "What was that?" And keep a journal. It takes practice to keep a gaming journal, and I'm not great at it. But at the end of a session in particular, again, I'm not great at it, but you just note, it's like, what did I do that session, or what do I want to do next session is the most important part. Because that will sort of mean that if you don't get to play for a bit, it feels less daunting to come back. Because you'll have your note of, oh, I was doing this. Now, with your stream, even to yourself, privately, you have the advantage of, oh, what was I doing at the end of the last session? And that's why Baldur's Gate for me may be a little bit less daunting to come back to, because I'd have the ability to watch the end of my previous stream or watch my entire previous stream and remind myself what I was doing. Now, would I restart? Maybe, because I don't remember the controls, but maybe I'd just come back and say, listen, I don't remember any of the controls. This first session is going to be terrible. This planet has nothing on it, does it? Well, this is the thing. The reason I stopped playing No Man's Sky the first time... So I played No Man's Sky for, I think, about 20 sessions, and then I stopped. And I stopped for nearly a year. And then I came back with what I call Phase 2 on my main save. And I came back after Worlds Part 1. But it wasn't because of the game. It was because my streams had garnered enough attention. Wow, this is weird. I'm going to move to another section of the planet and see if it's different elsewhere. My streams had garnered enough attention that there were a few people who were logging in, and I know they meant well, but they were basically saying, oh, you have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do this. And it was like, what? It's like, oh, if you did this, you'd get this, or if you went, you could get this multi-tool, or go to these portal coordinates, or you haven't done this yet. What's wrong with you? Or it's like, why are you running everywhere? Why aren't you using Exocraft? Or why are you doing it this way? This is more efficient. And it's like, well, wait a minute. I'm exploring. I'm flying from planet to planet and scanning stuff and having a huge amount of fun, and you're telling me I'm playing the game wrong? I'm playing the game wrong by having a lot of fun? What? And I could have just streamed privately, but I kind of wanted to take enough time that I forgot everything that the people had been telling me I needed to do. I also had kind of gotten lost in, there was a whole bunch of stuff where it's like the quests seemed broken. I couldn't progress the freighters. Like everyone was saying, oh, you should get a free freighter. And I couldn't figure that out. And it didn't seem to be working. And it's like, everything just seemed off kilter because everyone was saying, oh, this should have happened and this should happen and you should have this. And it's like, everything was just off. Wow. Look at that. That's cool. Just the comms tower in the middle of nowhere. So I came back, I reset everything. I figured out how to use the quest log properly, which I have to admit is one of the big problems with this game. I think the quest log and the way, if you have something picked in the log, like if I'm doing this, like expand stuff of your new home, and I kind of was up to a point like this, but it then, what if you didn't have the quest selected, it wouldn't progress the quest, but it would not stop tracking the quest. So I would like pick up a chart and then it would stop tracking the quest, even though that was the quest I was trying to do. Like it just went away, and with it not on screen, it wasn't progressing it. And it's like, are you kidding me? So I wasn't getting the progression because it wasn't tracking the quest, and it wasn't, see, exosuit upgrade chart, even though I've told it to please track this other quest. It was absolutely infuriating. And it's still doing that, and I think that is absolutely infuriating. It's telling me what it thinks I should do, not what I think I should do. And for that reason, I was unable to progress the main quest for like 20 sessions. Because I would tell it I want to progress the main quest, and then it would tell me, no, you want to do this other thing. And I would do stuff for the main quest, and it wouldn't give me credit for it. It was like, I stepped away. I came back a year later and was able to start afresh. But yeah, and I really want to be careful with Fel in particular of not telling her how to play the game. I want to tell her what options are available, and if she decides, nope, not interested, then all good. Let's find a different planet. This one's infuriating. Don't like your planet. There's an orangey planet somewhere. It's probably that one. See, I point the targeting reticule at the planet, and it doesn't actually register that I'm pointing at the planet until I start to move off it. So you start to move off it, and it registers it for like 2 frames, and then instantly disappears. So there's the planet. I move off it. Tick and gone. Yeah, it's so infuriating. Ooh, it's a paradise. You want to trade? Oh, I can give you a dihydrogen jelly. I'll take some Gekrep. Benny Musk. Do you think people are going to like some Fenny Musk? Orange is my favorite color. Let's head for a shoreline-ish area. Although, as soon as I get close, the shorelines are going to change. Although not significantly. I am aware of the history and the fact that it was diabolical at the start and all of that sort of stuff. Yes, I am. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that too. Don't want any vignette or bloom. I can add that later. Okay. I like this planet.
Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received.
It is very tempting to start building a base here, but there's going to be other views that are just as nice. And I possibly should build it near like a trade outpost or something. So what I might do is try and find the trade outpost. I think that might be my new thumbnail, because I'm not really happy with the thumbnail I'm running at the moment, I have to admit.
Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received.
So far, I'm so good.
Units received. Units received.
I keep meaning to dig up this copper so I can
Units received. Units received.
build my, what is it? The aeration membrane. it's nice of you to pay attention, Eric, but it by no means required, particularly as I need to stop soon to start work. It is a small copper deposit. Yeah, I'm hoping that will work. As I said, I'm not really happy with the new one I made. The original one that I used for 10 was great. I normally like to use a thumbnail for 10, but I'm tempted to change the dark one back to the original blue, which I thought worked really well. I tried to make it work and it just didn't. I don't know, I think Europe's pretty amazing and there's a lot of dead people in Europe. I mean, look at Paris. It's a city built on a catacombs. Well, it wasn't built on a catacombs, but there's a lot of catacombs under Paris. And people think Paris is a beautiful city.
Technology recharge.
But I understand what you mean. I would agree. Having to kill everything in sight would be bad. I think this planet is absolutely stunning. And it's got the best name ever.
Units received. Units received.
Weather, light showers.
Units received.
So I'm wanting to try and build this is not working out the way I wanted.
Technology installed.
That'll do for now. I don't aim for perfect efficiency. I don't care that much. Yes, I am aware that the you can flatten, build, restore, and mine with the terrain manipulator. Yep. Why is it as soon as I say I need to log off and go to work,
approaching. Hostile ships defeated.
This is my planet and I'm defending it. Unfortunately, it looks like the trading post is not near water. So, what I'm going to do here is make a note, find a nice base location on Fanny Musk Waji. Because this place is stunning. I loves it. I'm actually going to sell these bones.
Units received.
I wish you could sell from your inventory directly where things are sorted, because this is also always a pain. I think this works as well. I'm going to sell the bulbs as well, I think.
Units received.
Is there anything in my ship I want to sell? So many nanites. Hi, Work Geck. Oh, hey, Scott. I'll take a Geck symbol. Actually, teaching me the word for scent on this planet is kind of appropriate, isn't it? Teaching me the word for home, considering the... Yeah, you get a gift. So do you. You can have a gift. But for now, I'm going to find my ship. I'm going to board and exit the White Star. And I am going to... This session has been amazing. This planet I'm definitely going to build a base here. I need to find somewhere where I can build a really nice base. Now, I'm only going to use the prefab construction modules, and when I do it, I may put it into free build mode because I want to like try and be creative for the first time, and I don't want to have to mess around with like making glass and everything. We'll see how it goes. Is it going to happen in the near future? I don't know. I don't know when I will next stream No Man's Sky. I'm going out for dinner with Maggie tonight, and we're hopefully going to play a board game, probably Castles of Burgundy, I hope. I've got to work today, and I need to start recording puzzles for going away in a week, when I'll be away for slightly more than a week. Or the best holiday ever. So, yeah, and also the worst. It's going to be so sad, but it's going to be really good. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you've been enjoying these. Please, if you've got any comments, feedback, suggestions, do leave comments. I mean, of course, like the stream. That is always a big help for me as someone trying to grow this channel. You may notice I have so few subscribers on this channel. It's insane. As always, yeah, please, if you've got any suggestions or feedback or anything, including games that you would like to see me try. I mean, there are a few games on my list I do want to try and play. Returning to games I've already done is on the list, particularly Cyberpunk. But I want to try games like This Bed We Made, and I really want to try Disco Elysium as well. Am I going to do the Aquarius Expedition? I don't think I'm going to do it again. If you want to see my playthrough of the Aquarius Expedition when it was new, it was the first expedition I did, and there is an Expeditions playlist, a No Man's Sky Expeditions playlist. And again, if you want to see me fumble around when I had no idea how No Man's Sky worked, there is my main No Man's Sky playlist, from which I started, I think it was a couple of years ago, and it is literally me with no idea what I'm doing. And that's kind of a lot of fun to watch. Thanks everyone for watching. Not sure when I'll be back, but or if I'll be back with No Man's Sky in the near future. The next time I'm back with No Man's Sky, it may be on this save in order to kick off an expedition. But I think I'll be back over the weekend to build a base as a break between puzzles. We'll see. Thanks everyone, and as always, good luck finding your paradise planet. I think I just found what I like. Bye everyone.